The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You are listening to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with a sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Sports Network. Listen in as Brent and Dave invite you to belly up to the bar with them to talk about everything in the world of sports, just like you would do at your favorite watering hole. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans. So belly up to the bar with us, grab a beverage, and let's get into it.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, episode number 370, brought to you tonight by SeatGeek.com. The SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420POD over there at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to BellyUpSports.com for all their great sports articles and other podcasts, such as The Rise to the Occasion, who's hosting a Super Bowl show bright and early on the Super Bowl Sunday that I've been invited to, and I haven't told Dave that. Dave, you've been invited to join the show as well on Super Bowl Sunday, 7:30 a.m. Mountain Time. The 1420 boys have been invited to join the Belly Up Super Bowl special.
Well, I would love to be a part of it, but I have mentioned this a couple episodes ago. I'm in a Bondsville that weekend, and if I get up at 7, I'm not saying no, but if I get up at 7:30 in the morning, we're talking about hours of sleep on a single hand is what I'm going to be dealing with, which might be kind of fun. Maybe I'll phone you from Denny's breakfast. There's a Denny's right across from the hotel we stay at, and then as I'm plowing down my moons over my hammy, I can.
That's a great fucking feed. That is,
isn't it? It's just it's a tried and true, and it just
put that in the trough, double it up, call her good. 100%.
Moons over my hammy is a solid breakfast dish.
Yeah,
that's yeah.
So the invite's out there from Josh from Rise to the Occasion podcast. There, it'll be up on YouTube on Super Bowl Sunday, 7:30 in the morning. We'll get it out there. We'll beat the CBS crew, the Fox crew, whatever else, and hear all you need to know. Actually, what you need to know about the Super Bowl and make your game day more enjoyable. Anyways, Dave, we were out for dinner last night. First, we don't see each other very often. We see each other twice a week. And then, but once a year, you and your lovely wife plan this dinner for us, for all the old friends and everything else to get together and BS with old times. It's always funny to me that I don't want to go as far as saying it starts off as awkward, but it's, for lack of a better term, it's not tense, but it's like. Then the beers start flowing, and then everything else, and the conversation started going. And it was a great time last night over there in Lethbridge here. It was great.
It is. It's always a nice time when you get together for friends of. It's rare that you can find time to get that many people together in the same place. And you gave me some credit, but I take no credit. This is all my wife. She's the one that makes sure this happens. We go to a local establishment. We sit, was there 15, 16 of us there last night? It was a great night. The birds sit on it's just funny. Like you just can't, you see in movies and everything, and it's like boy, girl, like on these.
No, not with the good time boys.
Not with us.
Like boys in this end, done.
Yeah. And that's just the way it is, and everybody enjoys it. Like there's no hard feelings. Like why didn't you talk to us? Because birds are birds and boys are boys. Like that's just how it goes.
Well, what was funny, like when Deanna and I got home last night, we were kind of talking about that because you went and sat over there and I sat there, and it was fine. Like she wasn't complaining, and then Rose, Luke's wife, says. Oh, they're telling the stories again. The same stories are coming out again because they knew how many beers we were deep by at that point, right? Like, oh, here's the stories there. So it's time, guys. It's time to go.
I actually heard like a bunch of new stories there last night. So
there were some interesting ones. There's no getting around that. There was some ones like, oh yeah, that's and different, cool and fun stories. It was a great time, and like and make sure Kaylee, I know she doesn't listen to this show because I mean, Deanna, fuck, I don't know anybody does, but
she hears what I'm spouting on this end.
Yeah, so make sure you thank her. It was a great time last night over there in Lethbridge, Alberta. Here we had a great meal and everything else, and the meal was great. My meal was fantastic.
It is, that Miro's restaurant here in Lethbridge. fucker's been running for about 15, 20 years, and I don't think the specials obviously changed, but he has his 5 tried and trues, and they fucking.
My tried and true was real good. Like it was.
Which one did you get last night?
The beef waffle thing.
Oh, the potato waffle beef.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good, and just enough tang to it to fucking enough bite that I knew I was eating something.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it was fantastic. Yeah, and the beers were good, and the conversation, and the beers were good. The conversations were better. And,
and it's just being in the same room together. Like it could have been a fucking bowl of chicken wings and a pitcher of Bud Light, and it would have came to the same thing. But we get to include the wives, and everybody gets to see each other.
I didn't say like what was funny about that whole thing is that because Deanna and I were the last 2 to get there, I think, other than Tennille, Tim's wife, and Tim wasn't there, whatever. But Deanna and I were the last ones to get there. I didn't say a word to any wives until we left. And actually, for Brent, like I was quiet last night. I didn't say a whole bunch. Mike Davis was the steal of the show last night. He had some stories to tell. It was great stories. And actually, Deanne said, she goes, "You were pretty quiet. I didn't hear your voice last night." I said, "Well, to the end, and that's a couple more beers." But yeah, no, it was a great time. It was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and it's like I said, there's nothing beats getting face to face with everybody at the same time, getting people in the same room. Anyways, Dave, it's between season time. There's no baseball games happening. Obviously, spring training is kind of going. There's a few signings. Big news. We'll talk about that a little later on. The Orioles were sold, which is huge news for Baltimore Oriole fans. NFL, obviously, Super Bowl. It's the midweek process. The NHL All-Star draft is happening tonight for the All-Star game. And I was watching something tonight when I was over at for some wings over at Mojo's there, and there was a lot of guys talking about and sitting with old timers and guys that used to hang out, which is like we did last night. There can't be anything better than sitting with teammates that you had. I mean, I know I've done it before, but when you're sitting with teammates that you've had before from 20, 30 years ago, and the stories only just get better, right? But the memories that you have when there's nothing going on, when you're sitting with old teammates and reminiscing about stuff that doesn't matter, but it matters to you, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than BSing about that kind of stuff. Nothing.
I could only imagine the stories that are being told amongst retired NHLers in the bars of Toronto this week, because Toronto's. Well, I don't know if what city's better or worse, but a lot of those players live in the Ontario area.
Yeah.
And they come in to see like whether they're goodwill ambassadors or whether they're working in management someplace or whatever. The ping notifications or whatever on their phones are going off. Like, where are we getting together? Who are you with? Like, yeah, that's it. Hey, we're meeting at obviously not, but like, hey, we're meeting at BP's.
That was Overdrive had a live shot at Boston Pizza. And Warner was there, and Darcy Tucker actually. They came in.
And then like, who's there?
At a Boston Pizza of all things, yeah.
Yeah, and then someone else would be texting, "Hey, you gonna come meet us for one at Earl's?" Who's there? Right? Like, and it's not like big leaguing someone, but like all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, Fleury just showed up.
Well, I'm leaving.
Well, then we're out of here.
We won't get to that.
Do you think he makes a trip to try and hang out with those guys?
I think he knows better.
I would hope so, but you never know, right?
I think,
and to say Theoren Fleury knows better is a pretty big leap of faith.
That'd be the first time Theoren Fleury knew better. Yeah, it's crazy. Like these guys, the thing. What's funny about NHL guys? Like we know a bunch of these guys, like not that are our vintage who retired now and stuff. We know them to see them, don't know them by name, and like you run into them, they'll know us a little bit, and we'll talk and stuff. But when they see each other, and it's every sport. It's every town across Canada.
There's a brotherhood, yeah.
It's every town. But when these guys get together, especially guys more of our vintage, because the Western League was such a rough and tumble league back then, and the stories that they can tell, man, oh man, and stories only get better with age. They do. Like this guy was fucking all of a sudden a guy who was 5'11", 175. He all of a sudden he's 6'3", 240, right? And
Yeah.
So the stories always get better.
So we're 30 beer deep, like you had a 6-pack on the way to the
and you get these guys together, and like I don't want to say like I'm envious, but it was the kind of the same thing we did last night. You start telling and reminiscing, but the stories these guys must have, they got to be legendary and stuff that they can tell.
Oh yeah, because they're now
right?
now they're in the thing.
They got kids, wives, and things and stuff. Like we're not talking about that one. Right.
But tonight's for the boys, right? Like so and so is going to be there, and so and then to travel, like Warner's in Toronto, like you mentioned, and he's not a part of any team. He's on a podcast team, so they're like he's there with his little podcast group.
Yeah,
and then they're having fun, and so he gets. That's why he's part of the podcast because he's hilarious. And he's also there because he's so likable. They told a story like him and the one Pinder were walking down the street, and then he bumped into Doug Gilmour and like, hey, they like Pinder told the story like retro. Warner turns around and it's Doug Gilmour and like big hug and how you been? How you doing? High fives. What are you doing later on? That kind of shit. And Doug Gilmour's a bit of a Toronto god.
Doug Gilmour is I would put Doug Gilmour in the top. Oh fuck! This might get me in trouble.
Okay, here before you continue.
Okay, sorry.
Is Doug Gilmour rated or overrated or underrated?
Doug Gilmour in the National Hockey League is rated. In the fuck me, this is gonna be tough because I love Gilmour. Doug Gilmour in the NHL is overrated. In Toronto, he's underrated because the legend, like there's nothing that man could like. He was the guy. Like there's nothing he's so legendary in Toronto sports fandom and Toronto and the Maple Leafs and everything else. Like he was so great
to get him to one game short of the cup because they lost
cup finals. Not even the cup. So that's actually how mediocre Toronto Maple Leafs are. Like, yeah, if you just make it to the finals, you're an absolute legend.
Yeah, to the conference finals because they lost to Gretzky's Kings that year, right?
In 93.
I want to say, yeah,
93.
So he's
because Gilmour actually accomplished more in Calgary where he won a cup in 89.
Correct.
And like in Toronto where he's like legend, can't do anything without Gilmour. Blah, blah, blah. Gilmour's the greatest hockey player, maybe Sundin, in the last 30 years.
So rank them: Gilmour, Sundin, and Wendell Clark. In Toronto folklore,
I would go in that time frame. I would say Gilmour, Clark, Sundin with those three.
Even though Sundin's the only Hall of Famer out of those three, right?
Yeah.
That's and I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's just like the memories of who was the guy, the man, and Wendell Clark and Gilmour, I will agree, do carry a lot more weight for their, like we were saying the other day with Aaron, for their big game moments. And Sundin just was the horse that had to carry a bunch of fucking apples to market for that team, right?
Yeah.
He was just so much
the
better
Steve
than everybody
Thomases
else.
And the Darcy Tuckers and on and on and on it goes.
Yeah,
which are
exactly.
good, and the Toronto guys who they had back then. It's just to be a fly on the wall, and that's the one. Like the All-Star game to me, it's a farce. Like it is when they start putting costumes on these guys and skating around the ice and being idiots. And it like I used to like the skills competition. I remember when it came out about 96, 97. I thought it was fantastic. And then it kind of lost its luster because it got old. It was the same thing. Yeah, this guy can shoot hard. This guy can hit targets. Yeah. But then when they started putting costumes and wigs on these guys, and it's like, okay, enough.
Yeah, the All-Star game is good for the bars. It's just something to put on the TV. But like as someone that actually enjoys watching it, I gotta guess it's from the 6 to 14-year-olds. Like, do midget hockey players enjoy watching?
There's no way. There's no way.
I don't think so.
And to push it to another level, Dave, I don't think NHLers are vintage. Watch that. They're like, this is stupid.
No. They're
this
like,
is ridiculous.
If they're there, they're in the hospitality thing, and they're talking and they're there because that's where everybody else is, and there's something else.
Hey, it's a weekend. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, exactly.
They hate watching. No,
yeah, and then they maybe they had they're doing the bets that you do like on the side. Like I bet you they got money on their horse. They're gambling, right? And then like they don't give a shit. Like I got 50 on this. They put their horse in a hat and they got their gambling games.
I understand why they do it, but on the put it my left hand, I don't understand why they do it. Like, I don't know any. Like I talked to a lot of people throughout the day through this and that and everything else. Not one person said to me, "Hey, it's the All-Star game this weekend." Nobody.
Yeah, no hockey fan likes it. If it's in your city, then maybe you'll go because I don't know what tickets are, but like it's a corporate event and for the people in the know, and it's a reason to get together and have a couple cocktails because no one's going home pissed off because their team won or lost or someone got an injury, right?
My issue with it that the All-Star game used to be like, this is fucking 40 years ago. But the Campbell Conference playing against the Prince of Wales Conference, it was a fucking battle. You had Gretzky and Lemieux going against each other.
Yeah.
Like it actually, like there was a hockey game. Like, and you go back even further at Mike Bossy and the Island. And that, okay, here it is. You had Mike Bossy and the Islanders team going against fucking Wayne Gretzky and his Oilers team because they each had 6 guys on each team. It was unbelievable. It was like, okay. And then Billy Smith was in net at one end and Grant Fuhr was in net at the other end. Like the game actually kind of meant something to do the play.
Yeah, it didn't matter, but they cared. They wanted
like to the players. It meant something, and then so when the players were because the scores, they were high, like 8-6, not fucking 106.
Because they weren't going full out. Yeah, they're not playing, but like they care. They didn't want to get embarrassed,
but they were playing their position, and they didn't want to get embarrassed. Like it was just a different. Right. Now, and I get it. I totally get it. It's a show now. It's all corporate, and I get it. It's a show, but
because it only takes one try hard to fuck it up.
I think it's a bit of an embarrassment to hockey that it becomes now. If they did it, because I remember there used to be All-Star games on Tuesday nights back in the 80s because the schedule was this and flights were this, so it was different. That's actually a true statement. Now I think it's an embarrassment to the league that it's become a marquee event on a marquee weekend where all the eyeballs are on it, and they do that. It's like that's not what hockey is, man. And I'm not talking 90s punch a guy in the face hockey. I'm just saying that what they're presenting isn't what the game is.
And then they understand that, like, and then no All-Star game aside from baseball is even close to what the actual sport is like. And what do you do? Because we talked about a lot because the NBA All-Star game is going to be coming up right away too, and it's going to be gross. Like as unwatchable as NBA is, their All-Star game is even more
175 points last year.
I would I would rather watch NBA players warm up than watch the All-Star game. Same with football. I don't know what kind of dog and pony show they're going to be running in Orlando this year, but it's there might be something kind of cute. They should go just go battle of the network stars. Like, dude, fucking dunk tanks. Well, maybe they can fill the dunk tank full of beer, and they can throw it. And have the quarterback
sign me up.
Yeah, throw it from 50 yards and try and dunk coaches or something like that. That would be kind of funny. And get him to bob for apples or something like that in a thing of fucking beer.
Like I understand that the Pro Bowl and the All-Star games and
you don't want to get hurt.
The league makes money and the players might get a bonus for getting to that point. But I would put dollars to donuts that if the league just went away with it in 2 years, no one would be like, what happened? People are like, yeah, we don't care. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Especially with I understand how the league might want everybody to get together and have all the all-stars at the same place to shake hands and kiss babies. I get that. And because when else are you going to do it? As far as and then you have to make a reason for it. So they do. Is it 3-on-3 again? Is that what they're doing? Like,
the draft's tonight. Probably as we speak, actually, the draft is happening. Right now.
So they're having cocktails, the players, and they can. The players are 3 or 4 in by the time the draft is done, and then they might get after.
And the thing is, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I'm not against it. I'm just saying maybe we just don't need it. And I don't know how much help and how much help it gives the league. Like I don't know if like when the All-Star game happens on Sunday afternoon, how many eyeballs tune in on Thursday night for a Kings Columbus game?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would imagine.
You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense?
Just as many people are probably watching the draft as going to watch the actual game action on Sunday.
So it's the same people. Does it promote the game any? I don't think it does.
No, I don't know, but I don't think it detracts. And I'll say this too: if it costs the league one fucking penny, Gary Bettman would cut it in a heartbeat, right? So there must be some kind of attraction to it for the viewing public. Like, I don't know, because like I'm not that guy. Like I'd rather
tune in for 1 second the whole weekend.
No, like Columbus, Minnesota.
It's not a bitter old man. I don't care.
It's not entertaining. It's not entertaining.
There's stuff going on.
I would rather probably watch skills competition than the actual gameplay on Sunday, because that stuff it's not fun, and who cares? Like, because who cares? There's no allegiances. It's not conference versus conference. It's, I don't know. The 1 year it was all a big thing because the Sedin brothers, for the first time in their life, were actually on different teams, which was actually a storyline you can't create. But
like, what's odd to me is that who sitting in the ivory towers in Madison Avenue, whatever it might be in New York City, who decided that how they're doing it now is a good idea? Because to me, it's awful. Your boy's more. He's a baseball guy, but like I was a baseball kid too and a hockey guy. But I would watch All-Star games. Now, like, who in the ivory towers said this is what we're doing and this is a good idea?
I think it's tradition, and I think it's getting everybody together. You know what? I believe a lot of players.
So then why not go back to tradition?
Well, because then it's going to be like a 13-12 game. Is that good? And then what goalie wants to play on that? Like, so you have 3 goalies. I don't have an answer. I really don't, because that's at least this 3-on-3 stuff. It's only 20 minutes, and then the next one is coming up. Whereas like in the third period, like where you're watching no one play defense and just like, who wants to be a D-man or a goalie in that kind of game? No. Like, and can you say no? I don't want to go.
If you say no, you can't play for 2 games after. Is how it works. Because Crosby's done it a few times, Ovechkin's done it a few times.
You have to be hurt.
You can, but you have to be like actually hurt. Like there's actually medical doctors who go and check this shit out. And are like,
we're sending
you're
our
not
doctor.
hurt.
Yeah.
You're not hurt. You want to go to Cabo. Like fuck off. Like enough. You're not hurt. So you're suspended for 2 games, which so hurts your team. So the teams pretty much force their guys to go. Crosby's only been, I think, like 4 times in his 18-year career. He's like, it means nothing to me. Like, why? The season means more to me than this game does.
I think he's actually been hurt and has gone
a couple of times, yeah. But
to press the flesh, yeah.
I shouldn't say 4, but there was something I heard yesterday, and now that we're getting into the season, this is totally off script what we're going to talk about tonight. But we talked about it when the season first started. It was an overdrive yesterday about Crosby, so I kind of did a bit of a segue there. Would the league be better, and would Sidney Crosby help out the league a little bit and help out the Penguins a little bit if he said, you know what, it's been a good run, it's time that I move on, I only have 2 years left, 3 years left, is it time to move on?
From the Penguins?
Yeah, from the Penguins. I've done all I could possibly do in Pittsburgh. We're not going to win this year. We're probably not making the playoffs.
Oh, no, he's won 3. You stick that out. I would he's getting a statue.
No, but if he was retired tomorrow, he gets a statue.
Oh, so, you're saying retired or has to get traded to win another cup?
Traded somewhere else to say, you know what, it's time to. Because you can get some draft picks for me, you can do whatever it's got to be. Like we've milked this fucking goat. Maybe it's time to move on. Because I'm still a good hockey player. He's still a great hockey player.
What you're saying isn't wrong.
It time to move on?
If it's the best thing for the franchise, I don't know the haul you would get for him, but no. No, as a fan, I would be pissed. I would be pissed at management. Even if Sid Crosby himself comes out and says, I understand no, can't do it, won't do
Ray
it.
Ray Bourque did it.
But that was he didn't have 3 he didn't have 3 rings. And Boston was nowhere fucking near getting another one. But that was with the franchise and fan base. And I think that's 2 totally different scenarios. I hear what you're saying.
No, it is. But and I know that ownership groups don't owe Sidney Crosby or owe players. I think they pay him handsomely. But this one's a little bit different because Sidney because back in 1980, whatever it was, when Mario came into Pittsburgh, he saved the Penguins, and the Penguins were fucked again. And then whatever year it was when Crosby came, saved the franchise and everything else because they were moving. And now is it time maybe that the Penguins did him a solid and say, you know what, go win another one because he's still a competitive player. He's still a great player. He's still a top 10 player in the league.
Is that doing him a solid? Does he want to win one anymore?
No, I'm saying if he asks to maybe go to Colorado and play with McKinnon from his hometown or whatever, maybe. I'm just saying if
Sid brings it up, asks, then yes.
I'm saying if Crosby isn't demanding, because that would be a dick move. He's not that kind of guy to what you see about him. But if Crosby asks, or says you know what, we're not doing anything in Pittsburgh. I have 3 good years left in me. Can you find something that we can do here? I'll come back. I'll fucking shake hands, kiss babies for the rest of my life. But you know what?
If that's what Sid
I wouldn't
Crosby
mind winning
says,
one more.
If that's what Sid Crosby says, then yes, you got to do what Sid wants, because he's been nothing but a perfect citizen and an all-world hockey player for
almost
years.
Unhealthy perfect.
It's there's got to be something. It's
Deanne actually, she goes, there's something with that little fucker. There's something. It's been too clean. It's been too clean.
Too clean.
When he retires, something's going to come out. I don't believe that. I think he's a nice kid.
I agree with you too, Brent.
Yeah.
But
like it's just one. Maybe he's actually just a good guy, right?
Like, is he married?
No.
Yeah, so I don't know.
He is a hockey dork. He lives, breathes that on and it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But if he asked for a trade, the Penguins, I think that they would do him a disservice if they didn't look for something. Not harm their team. I don't think Crosby would say, don't make us worse in 2 years. But if you can help out the franchise, I can go somewhere. Let's see what we can do.
You would get a haul for him. And when I say a haul, I'm not meaning like 3 first rounders or something, but like you would get a fucking haul. Just
you'd have to get
his very presence in the room.
You'd have to get
change.
A couple of guys who were NHL players. Like right now, you'd have to get like a Tanev level defenseman. You'd have to get a goaltender in the minors or something, and a couple of picks. But like we talked about actually last night, we were sitting around, like a picks are just picks.
Yeah, but like a culture change.
So if you're trading Crosby to a team that's a contender, those picks are 29 through 30, so they don't mean nothing.
I don't think you could trade him to a contender because every contending team is up against the cap, right? I hear what you're saying, and it's a kind of a fun thing to have, but like that's just something I can never imagine happening.
Gretzky got traded.
Yeah, but that was
a business. I get
that
it.
was different. That was prime and like in a different.
Then he got traded to St. Louis when he was with the Kings, and
that's more surprising. Like
that one was weird.
That was just weird. That was like the first like deadline deal. Like, what did he have? Maybe 30 games.
St. Louis was okay, and they were hoping because like that was when that was 1996, I think, when that trade happened. St. Louis thought they were good because the Norris all of a sudden had all the best teams in the league at one point. Dallas and fucking St. Louis and Toronto was still relevant and on, and Detroit and everything else, and because the Norris was so bad for how many years, and all of a sudden it's like, oh fuck, we're hockey division. And the Gretzky trade, it was a Friday night, and I was playing for the Clares Home Thunder, and a guy came out of the coach's office with TV in there, the one TV in the dressing room. He said, they traded Gretzky. Yeah. And so I don't think it won't be this year, but I think next year Crosby's not a Penguin for the entire season. I don't.
No, I'll take that money. He retires a Penguin.
Maybe.
Pittsburgh does not come to him and say, "Hey, what do you think?" There's no way. He means too much to that franchise.
No, you're wrong on that.
Like a champion like that. No, like would they go to when Jeter wanted his $35 million in cash?
Mario, I almost said Mariano. Mario goes to because he still tucks him into bed every night. He fucking said, maybe it's time to move on. I don't think.
No, because
why would you play out the end of your career for nothing?
Because it's home. It's where you've accomplished anything. I'm going to retire in this jersey. He's won 3 cups. They've tried. They're trying to remain competitive, and he still remains one of the best hockey players on the planet. Like that's all I ever hear. Like any hockey podcast I listen to, how fucking awesome! If Pittsburgh was better, he'd be in the Hart Trophy conversation. Is what everybody says. I don't know. I don't watch any Pittsburgh Penguin hockey games. He's
fantastic.
He's everything that's good about hockey. and to even suggest that he plays in another uniform. I would like, as to your point, I would suggest it'd be more likely to trade Ovechkin than it would be Sid Crosby.
No, that's a bad statement. Because
Ovechkin's chasing a record. He's kind of useless right now.
Ovechkin's chasing a record that won't ever be broken again till the next time it's broken again, right? And he's buddies. He's close with the owner. Like Ovechkin,
did he stay in the owner's basement when he got into the league, like Sidney did with him?
That's a good point. Yeah,
right.
I think that you get rid of Ovechkin's not going anywhere because the money that's actually on the table right now with T-shirt sales and on and on and on and chasing that record. Ovechkin's more likely to stay in Washington than Crosby is to get traded. No, I
don't think so. I think
Malkin would. The thing is, nobody wants fucking Ovechkin.
Yeah,
right.
You need a partner, right? Like, what kind of culture leader?
Like no one's trading. Nobody's calling fucking whoever the owner is or the GM is in Washington. Hey, what do you give me for your Ovi? I guarantee you there's some. We'll get back to we'll go all around the table here because all those the GMs now are and assistant GMs and coaches. They're all players when Crosby first started and Ovi first started, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So now they're saying, hey, there's more feelers out there and jokes. Like Craig Conroy might have called Mario and said, hey, so what's it going to take to get Gretzky? Or Joe Sakic, more Joe Sakic, obviously in Colorado. Like, so Sakic obviously has fucking Mario on his fucking speed dial saying, hey, so what do you think about maybe what's it going to take to get Sid over here? Right? Nobody's calling fucking whoever's the boss in fucking in Washington saying, so do you want Ovi? No.
Are you gonna? Yeah, we want Ovi, but we want you to eat some salary on it.
And all of it.
For that one trick pony that, yeah.
You know, like it's not that Ovi, like he's obviously one of the greatest, like he's the greatest goal scorer of all time. He is.
Without a doubt.
And that's not even debatable. But
I think it's debatable, but you're right. He's one of the best.
Like maybe Hall, you put Hall up there, right?
Mike Bossy didn't play long enough because his knees gave out. Right.
Because Bossy had, I think in his 11 years, I think 9 of them were 50-goal seasons.
It was ridiculous. Like his point per game was like 1.9 or something like that.
Yeah, like nobody's calling fucking whoever the owner is in fucking Washington for Ovechkin. Nobody.
No.
People are inquiring a little bit about Crosby.
I think it's untouchable. I think that's untouchable.
I trade it in a heartbeat.
It's kind of like phoning the Catholic Church.
But only if he came to me. If Sidney Crosby knocked my door on a fucking Sunday morning at the office, hey, you know what? Because he's an upsetting guy. You know what? The franchise isn't doing good. We're not making the playoffs again, and I have 3 years left in me. Can you look for a dance partner? Don't find one. Can you look for a dance partner?
The only way that happens, it has to be money, and it has to be gross money. It would be for an ownership stake. There's no way that's the only way he would leave Pittsburgh. Like, say Salt Lake gets the Phoenix Coyotes, and then they put out that feeler.
He ain't going to an expansion team, man.
Well, for a 20% stake, you bet he will.
He'll buy that when he retires.
Nah, no. There's once again, I understand the premise of your question. There is like one less than 1% chance Sid Crosby ends his career other than McDavid, I don't think is going to end his career as an Oiler. I don't think Draisaitl will end his career as an Oiler.
No.
Who else is there out in the league that has just been stalwarts? So what about Marchand in Boston? I get it. He's playing for a good team, but let's say Boston falls short again. I think there's a better chance of Marchand. What about Drew Doughty?
Marchand's not a all-timer, though.
He's pretty fucking good. He's really fucking good.
Who's better, Marchand or Doughty?
That is a good one. I think I reflexively want to say Doughty because I think he is actually better and more skilled at his position. But the intangibles that Marchand brings can't be taught or developed. I'd still take the D-man in Doughty, but I think that's a close one.
Yeah. I mean, I would rather have a Doughty now, but Doughty's skill level 5 years ago, he's obviously declining.
Yeah.
It's just age, right? Doughty was part of that 2010 team.
Yeah, one of the best hockey teams ever.
And that's when he was a rookie and everything else, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a long time ago. The funny story about Doughty was when he was fucking getting down until whatever time in the morning and going to the gold medal game. Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I'm good. Fuck, whatever. He was getting down in Vancouver prior to the gold medal U.S.-Canada game there. But my problem with Marchand and those Boston guys, they've won one. And they won one. They were great. Obviously, they're great. To win a cup, you got to be great. But the thing is that all of a sudden, Roberto Luongo forgot how to stop hockey pucks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Honestly, game 6 and 7, he forgot how. So that one added to it. So it's those Bruins guys are great, are great hockey players, but I don't know if they're winners. Last year they got 60 whatever wins, and they fucking end up losing the first round to Florida.
But that team was a little bit different, and a lot more grittier, right? You had Chara, a young Marchand,
but it's the same guys. It's the same mentality and everything else.
Right? You're correct. Yeah.
So you're fuck. Maybe just let's quit pumping these tires, these Bruins teams, because you won one.
Yeah. It's kind of like they're a bit Baltimore Raven-y, right? Really good records. Puke all over yourself when it comes to the big one. But, and then you got to play. You got lucky in your Stanley Cup because you got to play against a team that also likes to puke up on their shoes, right?
Yeah, it's as sports fans, and not just me, not you either, but we put these teams on pedestals. But when you take a step back, you go, maybe they are not that good.
Yeah, a team kind of flukes into it every now and then. And I'm not once again, like you say, to win a Stanley Cup, I think is the hardest trophy to win. You don't fall into those. You got some kind of mojo, and at that point, you are great. Doesn't mean you're going to be good the next year, like the fucking Carolina Hurricanes. The fucking St. Louis Blues, right? There's sometimes you just catch lightning in a bottle and then roll with it, and the gods smile on you.
Yeah, it's winning's hard, and there was teams are giving up. Or last night, the Flames traded Lindholm, and they've given up. But everybody knew they weren't going to win anything this year,
right?
So That's one thing we talked about a little bit last night at the pub there with or at the restaurant there. Morrow's there, and you fucking just. It's got to be hard as a GM to go. We're gonna maybe make the playoffs, and we're not gonna do anything.
But maybe it's where the trajectory of your team is, right? Maybe making the playoffs as a Buffalo Sabres or the Ottawa Senators, that's a good thing. But when you're maybe making the playoffs as the Flames, that's fuck. We got to be a threat. We've been maybe making the playoffs for 8 years now, and we're not getting closer.
Because getting free agents later on, it's like, yeah. So I'm not signing. I'm not signing over here because what?
Are we resigning to be in the same spot
rich regardless? I'm rich regardless.
Right.
And most hockey players' parents are rich regardless now. So why would I sign on to a team that's going to be fucking 500?
I'm here to win and do and I'm going to do all the shit I have to do to be good. And I mean off ice workouts and skills and this, but as far as getting along with everybody else in the room, that ain't my fucking job. I'm here to do this, right? It's like an accountant, and that's my fear with the way the NHL is becoming more of a profession than a passion, right?
That was my next question for you, David. And I've always wanted to ask this when we get around, just because when we talk to you, when it comes down to it, but. How much do kids want to win a Stanley Cup more than grow their brand? Not just Stanley Cup, a Super Bowl, World Series, on and on it goes. Like, what is the brand? Has the brand become more important because the money is involved? Has the brand become more important than winning?
I don't even know if the brand is important to half these fucking kids. I really don't.
Their own brand. Their own brand.
Well, I'm gonna take who's that fucker in the Kings right now? Marc-Luc Dubois. Right? He's on his third fucking team. No one understood why the Kings signed him to this big deal, and now he's making the big money and he's playing like fucking shit. And how is that good for the brand? He don't give a fuck. He's getting paid. He didn't give a fuck in Winnipeg. He didn't give a fuck in Columbus. And now, for whatever reason, they signed him in LA because that's where he wanted to be. And now he don't give a fuck about his brand.
So why can't GM see through this shit?
I have zero clue.
You know what? That's the best question I've ever had in the 3 3/4 years of 1420 podcast. Why are Dave and Brent smarter than fucking NHL GMs who fucking decide to sign these kids who don't care about care about the team they're on, let alone the team they might be going to, let alone the team that they played for 3 years ago? They don't give a fuck about their fucking teammates. They don't give a fuck anything about just themselves. And
you didn't give a fuck when you're making league minimum.
So who's the dumb one? The fucking player or these fucking GMs who sign these kids with the hopes that he might win. He might like it here.
I could see his potential. Yeah, everybody can see his potential. That's why he got drafted in the top 5. That's why they traded him for Laine. That's why he did this. And now, we give him everything he fucking wants. The money,
nothing.
The city, and then now it's like, Jesus Christ, can you at least pretend to fucking care as we're paying you $9 million a year? Just pretend. Fuck. Like, what do you do?
I don't get it.
Neither do I.
I don't. And it's not that every fucking podcaster, not every sports fan, every guy sitting around a bar stool right now who are listening to this on their way home from fucking work. Why is it that the people I just mentioned are smarter than fucking GMs? Because if a kid doesn't want to fucking play for Winnipeg, he's only 2 weeks away from not wanting to play in LA. He's only 2 weeks away from not being a Penguin. He's only I don't want to be here anymore. You know what? Then don't.
Yeah.
Then don't play in the fucking league anymore.
There has to almost be an effort clause that GMs and teams can put in there. Like, at least pretend to fucking care. Like, everybody can see you're mailing it fucking in. We're paying you whatever it is, like $8-9 million a year. And then now 30 days into the league, into the season, you're getting 6 minutes of ice time because you're a detriment. You're hurting us. You're hurting us.
I don't understand how these guys get through this, and then we talk with a ton in all the sports, like how these GMs convince an owner to sign these guys these fucking contracts, and like, oh, I was wrong.
Yeah, it's not like there has to be. It's not like there has to be a performance bonus, but there has to be a performance bonus. Like Jesus fucking Christ, we're paying you with this being the minimum expectations. Obviously, injuries and whatever thing. But if you're healthy and you have no other extenuating circumstances, and you're doing this, fuck that. We're clawing back $2 million a year.
What is it? I don't know. Maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do some homework in the weekend, but figure out some kind of a pay scale, how it can work out, because every player, let's do it this way. I'll just do a quick Coles Notes version of this. Every player makes $200,000. And this is obviously simple money. Every player in National Hockey League makes $200,000. If you do this, you get this. If you do this, you get this. If you do this, you get this. Attainable goals for great players. But the ones who actually end up sucking shit, you have to attain this to make this. Yeah, you can have bad seasons. Yes, you can play in bad teams. I get that. But there's got to be a way to fucking penalize these guys for being pieces of shit.
Especially the first year of an 8-year contract. Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, what's his fucking fucking Calgary?
Huberdeau.
It's gotten so bad for him. It was so bad for him early in the season. It's all you heard about. But it's gotten so bad now you don't even hear about it.
No, because it's just now accepted, right? It's like not.
So now I'm making $84 million, and I'm fuck. I don't give a fuck.
And I ain't going nowhere for 7 fucking years because this contract is what we call untradeable. Like, what do you do? Like,
so I got a condo up in fucking the two blocks away in Calgary. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
You know, and especially being someone who's always on the player's side, right? But like when you sign a bill of goods, like this is what we're paying you for. Like if like I always bring it back to if you're a plumber or an accountant, this is what you're paying you to do. And if you don't do the job correctly, we're going to fire you. We're going to probably take you to court, and we're going to hire someone else to do the job properly.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if someone
builds in court, yeah.
Like when you hire a carpenter contractor to build your house, and you give them this much money, and it didn't work out. Well, you said you could do it for this much.
Yeah. And then they're like, so you're going to come back to me for more money because you bit off more than you can chew. Like, but like the roles are reversed as a team, and now you're fucking the team like on a hard salary cap league like the NHL is. And like it is what it is, and GMs have to be more wary. But like, you know, fuck. How about not signing unknown quantities or known quantities like Dubois? Huberdeau at least came off a 115-point season. Dubois was a pissy pants every stop he was at.
That's unbelievable, that one.
And then LA decided to sign him for 8 years at a big number. Fuck you. You kind of deserve that one. I don't get it. What? Oh, he's unhappy again? Oh, fuck. Go figure.
So where are you going to go? We said time and time again on the 1420 podcast that fucking LA is probably the best place in the league to play. But because you're a huge fish. You're a small fish in a huge pond. You got nothing but fucking dough, celebrities everywhere, and nobody knows who you are. But you want to infiltrate. You can have a great time.
And if branding is important to you, you're going to be able to meet people that can.
There'll be billboards everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you're unhappy there, fuck you. Really? See you later. On year one, get out.
Yeah. Get out. Like it's just You know,
why don't GMs like why do Dave and Brent know this, and GM of the Kings doesn't?
It when they announced that signing this summer, it was like a total head scratch to me. And now that it's not working out, it's like, oh fuck. Like you said, Dave and Brent knew he was a bad egg, and now everybody's surprised that he's getting fucking 8 minutes a night for that. Like it blows me away when shit like that happens.
It's unreal. Anyways, we did bullshitting for nothing tonight. Not nothing, but just going on. Anyway. The 1420 Sports
Bar Talk.
No, it's Bar Talk. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. Dave's got a piss. 4 Beer Sports talking a whole lot more. Tonight's segment was brought to you by SeatGeek.com. The SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod over there at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.
Are you thinking of going to a game or a concert in the coming days ahead, or do you already have tickets and want to upgrade where you're sitting? It's simple. Go to SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. They have tickets for all sports going on right now, as well as concert tickets to shows throughout North America. And to make things even better, use promo code 1420pod. That's 1420pod and receive $20 off your first purchase. Once again, that's promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports talking a whole lot more. This segment's brought to you by Righteous Felon Jerky, and go to righteousfelonjerky.com and use promo code BELLYUP at righteousfelon.com and get the best in craft jerky in the land at righteousfelon.com today and save us 20% by using the promo code. Dave, lots going on in the world of sports, so like just stuff, things here and there's, and nibbles and bites. But we like to change things up a little bit here at the 1420 land by talking about crazy things like who is better and would you rather's. But you came up with something very new tonight, is that I was quite intrigued by, was party, visit, or vacation. And I get what you're saying, so elaborate a little bit for the mass what you're talking about.
Well, party, visit, vacation, as opposed to fuck, marry, kill. Like it's party. Obviously, it's like a team or a person or whoever. You're going out with them for a night and you're giving her. A visit would be more like what we had last night. Like everybody's around at a table, very civilized, and you can ask them questions, but it's not going off the rails. And then a vacation would be like a long weekend, like a 5-day vacation on the beach or on a houseboat or at a resort, where you might get into it once in a while, but you're also hanging out at poolside.
I gotcha, but the houseboat thing, the problem you got there is you're stuck on that boat with those people for 5 days.
Take away a houseboat then.
Take away houseboat.
Take away the houseboat. Yeah. Take say resort or whatever.
No, I got you.
Right. But like a 5-day where everybody's sleeping in the same hotel.
So what we're doing here is we're having a sports team of the ages, and you're gonna say party, vacation,
visit. Or meal, supper, whatever you want to say.
I like how you had it. Party, visit, vacation. I like it.
I'm glad. And we'll see how it works, and maybe this will be a thing we can go forward to. And if people ever have suggestions that they want our opinions, we're more than happy to give you our opinions.
Yeah, we don't want to talk.
We won't talk about it now. So, I'll just give one right now, right off the hop. Party, visit, vacation. The 1986 Mets, the 1985 Oilers, or the 2017 Bruins that we talked about just not too long ago with Tim Thomas and Marchand and Chara.
Oh, fuck, man.
Those Mets are a tough one because I don't know what you're going to do with that.
86 Mets. So it was 86 Mets,
Yes, the 85 Oilers.
Yeah.
Or the 2017 Bruins. The one with wasn't that with Tim Thomas? The one they won. Was it 2017?
That was 11.
When the fuck was it? Sorry, 11. My bad. That was a quick one, and it looked kind of like a 7.
With that one, this is tough. Here's the thing, Dave. Is that Christ. That one's tough because the 86 Mets got themselves in trouble. But the problem that is that the 86 Mets got a lot more publicity to get themselves in trouble because the 85 Oilers were in Edmonton, right? So they were doing the exact same thing in a nicer place
with a lot less money. Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. But yeah. But they were doing the exact same thing, and the cost of their jubilance, whatever city it was pretty much the same, like the percentage, right? The 11 Bruins, they were I would visit with the Bruins. Like, hey, that's fun. Get the hoist the cup, right? Yeah, this is good. And Char is there, Marchand's there. So I would have brunch with the Bruins, right? Or visit, whatever it is. I would party. Fuck, this is tough because you don't want to be too long with one or the other because fuck me. This is a tough question. I'd vacation with the Oilers, the 85 Oilers, because I think that those boys, although they were having a good time doing some nefarious things,
they were still good old Canadian boys.
They would find a way to slow down, right? They would just drink a bunch of beers and then they'd do whatever they were doing, and they would know, okay, I shouldn't do this other thing anymore, right? Whereas the 86 Mets, I'd party one night. Night.
That might kill you, man.
Well, yeah. No, I know, but I'm saying like when I wake up,
just to witness.
I'm partying with the Mets one night. I'm partying one night. I'm not dead. I'm going on vacation with the Oilers because those boys are partying for a few nights, but they know when to stop. I'm visiting with the fucking Bruins because they're like, yeah, right on, dude. Yeah, right on, Marchand. You're great. Because he'll tell you how great he is for hours on end. Right?
See, and I'm similar. I want to go on vacation.
I like this. This is nice.
I would like to go on vacation with the Oilers because you're going to have a couple nights of party and you're also going to have hangout, but you're going to have things. And, I think that would be, and those are the ones that I wouldn't mind being friends with in the long run.
Yeah.
I'm going to dinner with the Mets because there's an end to that. If you go out partying with the 86 Mets, I might be up for 3 fucking days. Like it doesn't like Dwight.
Yeah, you're right on that one.
Yeah, that might be a party I can't handle. And then, which brings me to partying with the 2017 Bruins because I'm not a big fan of the Bruins. I respect what they did, but then I think that would be a lot of because it had been so long, and it would be a good party. But then I'm done with you. I don't have to deal with you anymore. So with the Bruins and the Mets, I want to have the ending point.
I like this segment, Dave. No, that was good. I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm glad you do. I thought we waxed poetic a little bit.
Yeah,
I have a couple others if you want.
Let's do this.
Talking about that one.
100%.
Okay. So same. So the what's the one the Waste Management Open in Phoenix. There's a tornado warning and every plane is so and no one can fly out. So now I guess no one can fly out, but it's different. Like same. Well, no. So everybody's grounded. and now you get to hang out with one group of people that night. Are you going to hang out with the caddies, the players, or the sponsors?
Ooh. That's a good one. Because the sponsor, okay, like 1, 2, 3. Who's first?
Well, yeah, or we could do vacation dinner.
Okay, no, here it is. The caddy has been lugging around that bag for fucking 3-4 days, right? And here's the thing: like he's like, I'm tired, and he doesn't, because I know a caddy, like I actually do. And,
but this is now a rare off day for Sid caddies. Yeah, go ahead.
But he's like, fuck, I'm just sick. I just want to go and drink some beers and hang out. Like, fuck these guys. I've been schmoozing with these guys who aren't me and everything else. We're different people. So I'm definitely ending the night with the caddy. I will have a beverage with the sponsors because they're all fucking drunk and stupid and fucking jerking themselves off. And the golfer, he's a middleman. Because he doesn't want to see me and I don't want to see him. The caddy's the most genuine guy you want to end with, personally.
I would love to party with the caddies and get a little booze in them and listen to the stories, because I think golfers are too reserved.
They've gotten so above everying now.
Yeah, they're above
the money they make, everything else.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. It's like whatever. It's just what it is.
It's just what it is.
Yeah. No, Dale Vallely out in Medicine Hat there, he was Abraham Answer's caddy. So I spilled some beers with him a time or two. And the stories, it's like, holy Jesus Christ. It's like, ooh. Good guy. Yeah,
when's he coming on?
Do
you have his digits?
I do. I actually do. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that off air.
Yeah. He's a good guy. He's a lot.
But obviously, like he's doing something right if he's carrying a bag.
He carried the bag of the Masters with the final group.
Yeah. That's something.
Hanging a dart out of his yap, fucking walking down fucking 18 at Augusta. Yeah.
Wearing his white overalls. Did he have mustard stains on it? Are you allowed as a caddy? Are you allowed to keep those white overalls? You think, or does the
probably not? You're afraid caddies are gonna auction them off eBay.
I have another one here.
Do one more.
Like, okay, so for this one's back to the visit, the party, the vacation. What are the Pittsburgh Penguins Sid Crosby teams? The St. Louis Blues that won the Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
Or any team from the 1980s?
I'm having a visit, a little breakfast, a brunch per se with Sid and his guys, because Sid's probably wants to go and play hockey after his cup win. He wants to go and train a little bit more and play hockey and play shinny with a bunch of.
I like what's getting down for Sid. How does Sid Crosby get down?
Yeah, he has a fucking mimosa for brunch, and he goes and plays hockey on Sunday afternoon. So I'm visiting with Crosby. I'm getting down. Oh fuck! You know what? That 2019 team with the St. Louis Blues, and then Brett Hull joined in, and on it went. I'm getting down with those boys because that was a fun team. Craig Brubaker's the coach, and on it goes. Schmaltz from Wilcox, where I went to school, and all that team was fun. And then
they had cohesion, right? And
and then the way the alumni came back there for that, like that was fantastic for the Blues. So I'm getting down all night with the St. Louis Blues for like 2 months. Whatever, I'll do it. And then I'll be we'll party with the 86 Flames as long as Stan Fleury's not around.
Oh, I would think it'd be like the 86 New York Rangers or something like that, with Brett Gardner and Messier and those kind of guys.
Well, that was 94.
Oh, okay, sorry. So I'm going a little further, but I think so. Like mine's similar to yours, but a little bit different. I would party one night with the teams from the 80s because I was too young. I want to know what fucking guys did when they partied in the 80s. I wouldn't mind going on a night in the town in Chicago or New York with those fuckers. I think that'd be fun. So that's my party team. The dinner team would be Sid Crosby because it'd be civilized and we can talk and we can chat and Sid might give me something. But for the same reason with those 85 Oilers, I think that St. Louis Blues team, I think you can carry that kind of adrenaline for 5 days and have those fuckers. I'll listen to Gloria 247 just to see those knuckleheads give her shit.
What would be funny was like
Beach.
What would be funny about Gloria is having a good time at whoever's house, and then every 20 minutes, Gloria comes on again, and then pounding beers. Right, just fuck. Whatever.
And then Brett Hall might show up, and fucking Al McInnes, Chopper might show up, fucking Pronger might show up that
whole
it just felt good, right?
It was a feel good story. Their first cup as a franchise, everything else, and no, I love that 2019 team. Like it's like I'm not a Blues guy by what I be, but yeah, it was great.
But as a fan of sport, it was fun to watch. It was just fun. It was fun to watch them party and enjoy the moment. Who did they beat in that cup final again?
Boston.
Was it Boston?
In 7.
Well, even better, right? Fuck the Bruins.
You know what's funny is that if you're a Bruins fan, you're a Bruins fan. If you're not a Bruins fan, you hate the Bruins.
Like fuck the Bruins. Yeah, I don't hate them, but I like fuck the Bruins.
There's the Bruins aren't irrelevant. They're like, I love them or I hate them. They're like,
There's so many teams like the Yankees and the Red Sox too, right?
Nobody hates the Kansas City Royals. Nobody hates the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's like, fuck the Bruins. You love them or you hate them. Isn't that weird? Sure.
Yeah. Fuck the Bruins. I'll never cheer for the Bruins.
The conversation, like, this might be something funny throughout. Maybe we should do something off air, but we can. So why do you hate the Bruins? And the answer would be, well, because
they're the fucking Bruins.
Because
have you met a Bruin fan? Right?
Awful. I have 3 or 4. Would you rather, or who is better if you want to do it, Dave?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Like, why not?
Thursday night, getting down on her. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. This segment brought to you by RighteousFelonJerky.com, and go to Righteous Felon Jerky and save yourself 15% by using promo code Belly Up at Righteous Felon.
And I totally plan on giving you my review on Monday. My jerky will be coming back.
I hope it's good.
It's you know what? If it tastes like gas, you guys will never know.
I've Vince from the Sports Store podcast. He said fantastic. Like, he actually swears upon it. So,
well, we're gonna find out really fucking quick because I'm gonna share it. Like I said, I got 3 pounds of the shit, and jerky ain't that heavy.
There we go. Here we go, Dave. Who is better, Doc Brown from
Christopher Lloyd?
Doc Brown or Dr. K, Dwight Gooden?
Whoo, that's a good one because Dwight Gooden was one of the most talented guys ever to take the bump.
Ever.
Like, what was his ERA the year he won the Cy Young? I think it was
1.9.
Yeah, I was going to say 1.8.
And that was in 86, 85. Yeah.
Christ, he was so good and so filthy. The problem was he was not dedicated to his craft. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Doc Brown's iconic. And, Christopher Lloyd cracks me up. That motherfucker from his Taxi days. But we're not talking about...
Taxi was such a good show.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh.
Jim was so funny. They're like, just like, if you don't know what we're talking about, just do Taxi Jim. And there'll be things on YouTube for you to watch. Doc Brown, he made a thing, and goddamn! But being 20 years old and posting a 1.8 and pissing that talent away, only because Dwight pissed the talent away. I'm gonna say Doc Brown, the fictional character Doc Brown. He figured out time travel in a DeLorean, so that's pretty fucking cool in its own right.
Yeah.
So I'll give this one to Doc Brown, but I'll always have a place in my heart for Dwight Gooden.
The girl at the under the lights at Spit staying there, her front desk, she took to, and she's fantastic. I like her a lot. I couldn't get it right what her name was because it's spelled weird. It's Lorian. It's her name. And I said, Lorraine, whatever. And then she goes, it's DeLorean with the duh. I said, So I went, all right. I said, but that's not really true. And she's like, so she gave me a dirty look. But whatever.
So just call her. But now you know how to pronounce it.
It's Lorian without the duh.
Yeah, her parents did her a little dirty on that one.
Dave, who is better? The owner of Cheers Bar in Boston, Massachusetts, ex-fucking Boston Red Sox pitcher.
Mayday Malone.
Sam Mayday Malone. Or Sam the Record Man.
Sam the Record Man, for those of you that don't know, was Sun Records back in the day.
HMV for HMV.
You bet. It was the store. It was the record store in the mall. And you go and spend the fucking 45 minutes just
scrolling through.
I don't know. Like, you had $20 to spend, and so you had to look at 1,000 fucking albums before
you might get yourself $2 records.
Yep, look for like 2 for $9.99 type thing or whatever.
That was great though, wasn't it? 2 for $9.99.
You go to the mall with,
and you wouldn't even like the CD, but you had more CDs.
Yep, it's just more. You like one song and this and that.
I forget that.
Yeah, you can hang out, and especially like they had. Why'd they have so much fucking packaging? Like the actual product was this big, but then it was on this big thing, and
because they didn't want people to steal it, right?
People couldn't steal it. You can't put that fucking 3-foot plastic casing in your jacket. I missed the record store. That was a thing, and back in the day when Kitty and I would go to different places, and if she would want to do something, and I'd go and kill time, I would go to used record stores, and it was kind of neat when I don't even know if I have the ability to play a CD these days. That I digress. I'm sorry about that. This one goes to Sam Malone because Cheers was one of my favorite shows to watch ever. I've watched that again too, and like I just mentioned, I have probably honestly 300 pounds of CDs in this house that are sitting in boxes that I don't want to throw them away. Like, I don't know why I don't want to throw them away, but I have fucking CDs. So I'm going to give this one to Sam Malone because I still get enjoyment, and it has the nostalgia tugs at my heart.
No, I love Cheers. Like when I was in Boston 2016, I think it was. We went to the Cheers bar and everything else, and it's great. Like the coach and Norm and all of it, and Woody and Cheers. It's one of those like it's one of the, and for me in my lifetime, it's probably the top 5 iconic shows in my lifetime. Like it's one of those ones you just watch, right? It was great.
It was funny all the time.
Every time.
It just fucking works.
And no matter what characters they brought into it and everything else, and it was just funny. And and Sam Malone was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like he was pretty cool. Like it's one of those things. It's great to watch. Dave, who is better? This one comes from Deanna actually. Madison Baumgartner or AshleyMadison.com.
Oh, this one goes to Mad Bomb all day. Like Ashley Madison. Like I have no use for it. I've never had a use for it.
I haven't either. That was from Deanna.
I've never.
Maybe I gotta have a talk with her.
Yeah, exactly. Like where did you come up with that? Because
she's new to the who is better realm of things, but yeah.
Yeah, and then even when I met my wife, I don't even know if I owned an iPhone at the time. Like at 2000, did we have iPhones in 2000?
No,
I don't think so. No, we just had flip phones, and then I did okay at the bar and like with my own game. I didn't need a fucking app. Fuck that shit. So like, yeah, this one's all Mad Bomb. Even though he's a bit of a wingnut, he was a superhero. Delivering those 2 rings to the San Francisco Giants.
I got one more here, and we'll call her a night. Who is better, Winona Ryder or the Ryder Cup?
Winona Ryder, like, I didn't really get her. Like people of our generation,
she was famous to me. I remember that was Reality
until
Bites.
She got caught stealing, right?
Yeah, but Reality Bites was a good show and whatever. I was
Heathers,
people
like Heathers,
things and
Little Women.
She was,
yeah,
but I don't think she did anything that someone else couldn't do.
Right. She just happened to be there.
She fell into that role.
If it wasn't her, it'd be someone else, right?
Yeah.
It could be. It could have been Kirsten Dunst. It could have been whatever. Like that's the one.
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, don't you remember her Interview with a Vampire? Like same shit, different pop.
I watched that. Yeah, I went to that movie actually.
Kirsten Dunst was the young girl in that movie. The one that Brad Pitt made a vampire because he needed a companion because Tom.
But Kirsten would have been too young at that point.
No, I get it, but what I'm saying is like that's. I'm just putting a comparable out there.
The Ryder Cup has kind of become a little bit, a
little bit douchey and stuff like that, and one-upmanship and like is this Rory McIlroy? Do you really care that much, or is this just manufactured
hatred against the
right? Like, and is it hatred? And like, I get it. I think golfers, who are athletes and who are very good at their job, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't even know their names. It's so rare that they get to be teammates. And I think that might be a time for them where they get to be teammates. And that might have been something that we get to talk about. We should have talked about. With,
what was that one? 99. Right? 99 when Justin
jumping on the green and shit like that, and
getting a little pissy. Awful shirt. It was. I think it was 99 or 2000 when Justin
Leonard
made that putt from fucking Never Land, and that was great. Like, it was great, and that's one thing that I think sports is kind of. When we were kids, that the international flavor, us against them, was a thing. Huge. It was huge. Like Canada, Russia, Canada, USA, on and on it goes. And now because actually we should talk about this maybe on Monday night when there's nothing to talk about. But it's that is gone from sports because now the Europeans, the Russians, the Swedes, are playing in North America. So it's not the same dislike for those teams. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the Canada Cup back in the early 80s, we didn't those players didn't play in North America.
There was no familiarity. Like
nothing.
Trechek, Markov,
like
Karlamov.
On it goes. So so it's a bit different. It's just different.
Yeah. And then golfers, I like I say,
and that's it with golf. And now because golf is so huge now. Because
they're doing it without money. In fact, the Americans started pissing and moaning a little bit about how come we're not getting paid for this? Like everything, their entire trip and expenses are paid for, but they're not being financially rewarded for representing their country. Yeah. Whereas, like in I was listening to that 32 Thoughts podcast with Friedman, and he was interviewing Nathan McKinnon, and one of his things was like, what would you like to see happen? He goes, I want to play in the Olympics. I want to wear the fucking maple leaf, and I want to play in the Olympics.
McDavid, same way, right?
Yeah, and McDavid's the same way. And this is a thing that golfers didn't even know they wanted, but it matters to them, and it's kind of neat.
Playing for your country would be cool, or playing for your whatever. And the thing that kind of not bothers me. What was your dog?
Oh yeah, he's right here. The
thing that bothers me about Ryder Cup is that it's and then the what's the other one? The international or whatever it's called.
President's Trophy. No,
President's Cup. It's all these other nations against the U.S. And I get the U.S. is it's their thing. USA. I get it. That's where the TV deals are. I get it. But Europe, it should be a country against the USA, not just Europe.
But then where's the intrigue and how you're going to sell that on TV, right? Like it's just where the best golfers, and it makes sense in the US.
No, I understand that, but like when it comes to hockey, it's Canada against USA, it's USA against Russia, it's Sweden against Finland, it's country against country. Like how do you kind of get behind a country? Because let's say if it's all of a sudden you got Finland, Sweden, and Switzerland against Canada.
I'll tell you, here's the problem.
How much do I care?
If that's your problem in golf, I'll tell you how to fix it. 4-man teams. Not 10-man teams, not 12-man teams. 4-man teams. And then do it over the course of a week. And then yours versus us, like best ball. Well, like figure it out. But then 4-man teams, because then the depth of roster doesn't matter that much.
I mean,
right?
it'll never be Sweden against USA. It'll never be, but it's like, okay.
Well, that's not necessarily true. Sweden's put out some Jesper Parnevik. And then what do you do with Great Britain? Is it Ireland gets a team and Great Britain gets a team? And Wales
we're getting way too deep on the fucking geography of the fucking 1420 podcast world right now, Dave.
Yeah, but nonetheless, Ryder Cup, like the simple fact.
No, I like Ryder Cup, but it's just like,
yeah. I don't ever care, but I do like watching it because the emotion of the players, like it's
100%.
Yeah, so I do like watching it because it's kind of cool to see these players caring. Even the guys that are been in the clubhouse for 2 hours are coming out to watch their teammate putt to possibly win the game, win the tournament. Great thing.
Dave, I love our American friends we have on our show on a regular basis, and I love. I'm thankful for our listeners that come right across North America, but there is nothing more No, there's a lot more cringeworthy.
USA.
I
hate
that.
Figure something out.
Like, I hate that. I'm sorry to our American listeners. I hate it. And I'm not being political at all. This is before Trump. This is before Biden. This is before Obama. This is something from back in 1980 when
Hacksaw Duggan was carrying around his goddamn 2x4.
Always hated it. It's not
always.
I've always hated it.
It's the laziest chant ever.
Get better.
And it's not just us two. It's the planet.
Get better, America.
The planet. Like, how do you think the Aussies and
you spend $100 billion on whatever every day? Get better.
Like saying America the Beautiful. Like think of an America chant or something like that. But USA is lazy and dumb.
It's time to go.
Long time ago. Ask Hacksaw. How did it work out for a Hacksaw Jim? I wonder where that motherfucker is.
We probably just lost 5,000 fucking listens on that one, but whatever. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, Former Sports talking a whole lot more. Yeah, Dave, good show. Kind of winged it tonight a little bit and had some laughs and everything else. And yeah,
it was a fun one.
We saw you 2 nights in a row. 2 nights in a row.
2 nights in a row. 3 out of the last 4 days.
Are you going to shirt tomorrow?
Am I going to where tomorrow?
The shirt sleeve?
I got shit to do. It's the beer bash tomorrow too.
Yeah.
I plan on making an appearance at the beer bash. It's named after a buddy of mine that is deceased. So I plan on going there and tipping 1 or 2 back. I think my team is off the ice at 3. I'll be in touch. Are you going to be there?
Yeah, I'm going around. Yeah.
I'll text you. I got some shit to do, but like I'll be in touch. I hope to get there for
30 minutes there tomorrow.
It's what's the thing? Well, it isn't. The shirt sleeve bonspiel is a thing. It's a Lethbridge tradition.
50 years?
Well, I want to say like 75 years.
Because you've been playing for 50 and you're 75 years old yourself.
Yeah, I've been fucking throwing them when they had fucking the things in the gutters. Yeah.
Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, Former Sports talking a whole lot more. Take care, Jim. More importantly, take care of your 17-year round. You're sticking the ice and well safe.
I don't want to see Jim swing at any high pitches.
There we go. Have a good night, folks. We'll talk to you on Monday night.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.